Welcome back to another video here on First Class Collection. Today we're going to make a pretty quick video, just brushing over the market, some of the moves that I saw made today. Haven't really been keeping a too close eye on the market, just been seeing the numbers go up, and I'm like, holy crap, man, what is going on right now? So without further ado, let's get into today's video. I'm going to go ahead and make myself a little smaller here. Alright, so the first thing I noticed today that was very noticeable, let's go back to page 1 here. If you look at fabled booster boxes right here, man, this price keeps going up, and it is going up quick, and I don't think it's going to slow down. This number just keeps getting bigger and bigger, and this keeps getting steeper and steeper. We might see a pullback here. You can tell there's a lot less volume buying here compared to back here in the 240 range. But I mean, look at that, y'all. Look at that. And if we go on the year, you're talking straight up moonshot. All right. So if you were wise and you bought this box back here when it was $100 and something, right? And let's say you dumped a few $1,000 into these boxes or cases, right? You're sitting on a gold mine right now. Okay. So just keep that in mind when you're an investor, when you're a collecting, you might come across products that do you justice and that make you look smart like this, right? And you might just passively come across this gold mine. Or as a wise, smart investor, somebody who believes in a product, somebody who believes in the art or the pack volume or whatever it may be, right? The rarity of certain cards, you might be rewarded as well because you were wise and you made a smart choice to purchase as many of these as you could. All right, so just know history repeats itself. This will not be the first time a booster box does this in Lorcana, in Pokemon, in any TCG. All right, so keep that in mind because there could be another opportunity somewhere along the way. Okay, so that was just the first box I wanted to look over there, and as you can see, the price on this one just continues to go up steeper and steeper. Okay, you're going to be looking at a $700 box and probably higher once these start running out. All right, because the market is going to determine the price of these boxes, and they're not going to stop until people stop buying them, which isn't going to happen because everybody wants to get their hands on these. So that's Fabled in a nutshell. I don't see it slowing down. I don't see it coming down. You know, there might be small pullbacks, but if you're a Fabled collector, Fabled investor, you're probably sitting pretty good right now. All right. Another thing I wanted to touch on was, first of all, shout out to Ice DLSD. You know, the guy is he's just spitting truth. Same thing with Enchanting Gaming. You know, when it comes to certain sets in Lorcana, a lot of people think that it's only first chapter and it's only Fabled that can succeed. They can only do well, right? And then obviously the hyper modern because they have the iconics, and I get it. Like, the artwork is as good as it's ever been. People love the characters. They love the way the art looks, right? And there's a lot of, honestly, just kind of like art grabs out there. You know, people see it and they just think, okay, I'm going to grab this before it freaking shoots up to the moon, right? And a lot of these new sets have those star power cards. But when it comes to value, right, when you're a value collector or a value investor, you're looking for the best deal on the market at this time, right? And you're planting that seed as soon as possible because you think you'll have a solid return over the course of time compared to a luck shot or a gamble with Fabled, even though we all knew this was probably going to be the best set ever up to current date, right? That doesn't happen all the time, and that's not a realistic scope to look through when it comes to every set to invest in or collect. All right, so shout out Ice DLSD, shout out Enchanting Gaming, shout out Rich TCG, shout out Joey McScrooge, because every one of them is pretty much on the same page when it comes to Reign of Jafar, Arcasia's Island, Shimmering Skies, right? Even Ice DLSD, shout out to you, man, for the Ursula's Return, right? Knowing that there are a ton of princesses in this set. And I get it, the art isn't as pretty as these newer sets, right? But this is it's an older set, so it has time on its side. And when people start looking back, the value of time plus the characters is going to increase the value of this box, of this case, of this trove, whatever it may be. Okay? So you need to think about all of these aspects when it comes to investing. And then as a collector, you can have a lot more fun because you literally just put this stuff up in your closet and you get to look at it every day and not really worry as much about the ups and the downs of the market, right? So really consider Ursula's Return, Shimmering Skies, Arcasia's Island, Reign of Jafar. All of these are still within reach. I would say Reign of Jafar and Ursula's Return are probably, if you're really on a budget, but you want to be able to get a case, right? Those are going to be the two that you can really focus on right now. But before you know it, these two cases are going to be out of reach for the average investor or the average collector, even if you just want to have a case, right? To have this sitting around, you're going to be paying $500-$600 before you know it. So you need to jump on these opportunities when the market is giving you an opportunity right now. Okay? A lot of people out there who are making videos on Lorcana are constantly talking about Lorcana is so hard to find where I'm at. They never have it stocked on the shelf. But then they also have the opposite perspective of how when they go to a local card shop, there's nobody to play the game. So that tells me one of two things. That tells me that people love collecting Lorcana and they're investing in it, but they don't mind the game. Like they don't even really want to play the game. Or Lorcana still has not blown up as much as we think it has. And maybe they're just not putting as many products out on the market. Maybe those products aren't being distributed as much as Pokemon and Yu-Gi-Oh! And One Piece and Magic. Okay? So it could be the latter, but I have a feeling that it's more so Ravensburger isn't putting out as much of these products as these other TCGs, right? So they're less common. You're not finding them as much as you would Pokemon, obviously, even though people are scalping that like crazy, right? You could still find those products, especially once that print facility comes online. It's going to be, in theory, it should be a lot more products on the market available for people to purchase. But One Piece, Magic, sports cards, all of these, you constantly see them on the shelves, and then at times you see it, they're wiped away because people are scalping them. But they replenish them much quicker. Whereas Lorcana, I believe personally, there's not as much of this product hitting the market. And where I'm at in Alaska, nobody's on the Lorcana game. Nobody knows about Lorcana. I legit show up at Target and I'm able to pick up, unfortunately, there's a minimum of 2, and that's for every TCG that they have there. But I was able to pick up multiple starter set, collection starter sets for Fabled. I was able to find 2 Fabled booster boxes at a local TCG. I was able to find Reign of Jafar, Arcasia's Island, first set. Here, I'll show you real quick. I was able to find tons of these. Oh, there goes that. So this box was actually a little beat up. I bought it anyway because I just like the side art of these boxes, right? But I was able to find, like 7 or 8 of these within a week time period. All right, so these are still out there. First chapter, Rise of the Floodborn packs in here, and you get the binder. All right, so there's opportunities on the market. Give me a second here. There's opportunities on the market. You just have to know what you're looking for. And you also have to know what you want, right? And when it comes to those two things there, those are really important. Know what you're looking for. That way you have an end goal in mind. But know what you want. Know the direction you want your collection to go or your investment style. And go from there. At least have a plan. Have a plan. Stick with it. If it doesn't work, if it fails, all right, come up with another plan. Move on to step B, right? But at least have that plan, because that's going to guide you to where you need to be. And then from there, you're in the right place at the right time. Whether something goes wrong or not, just adjust, adapt. But if it doesn't, well, you already know, I'm getting that, I'm getting that. I want these for my PC, I want this for my investments, and you're good to go. So just keep an eye on the market. Look out for those deals. They're slowly kind of creeping up. Again, I don't know how many people really know about Lorcana that well. As much as we think people are into Lorcana, as this community that's formed on YouTube, I really don't think it's as big as we think it is yet. At least over here in Alaska, it hasn't really hit yet. But I do kind of feel, I have a hunch that Lorcana is going to kind of creep up on us, and soon enough, everybody's going to realize how expensive Pokemon is for what you're actually getting. They're going to see Disney Lorcana, and they're going to be like, man, why have I been overpaying for Pokemon when I could have collected Lorcana or invested in Lorcana at MSRP or below for a better product, for a product that has better, in my opinion, better art, better boxes. The packaging is better for each pack. The community is better. There's no drama. There's no, fighting or stabbing people for a box of Lorcana. So, once people see that, I think we're going to have a shift. And as much good as that shift could bring to the community, it's going to bring the bad with it as well. But our job as these initial investors and collectors in Lorcana is to kind of set the tone, set the stage for everyone else coming in here, and trying to make them realize, hey, we're here because we love this game. We love the art. We love the feelings and the emotions of nostalgia that it brings to either yourself or your family. That's why we're all in this right now together, right? We're not necessarily in it to turn $1 into 10, okay? And if we can somehow shift people's mindset on that, I think maybe we would be a better community for it, but also potentially a better world for it. And on that, I'm going to go ahead and end the video. That's all I got for y'all today. Go ahead and give me a thumbs up, man. Come on, give me a thumbs up. Comment down below. Tell me what your favorite 2 sets, what are your 3 favorite sets from Lorcana right now? Your 3 favorite sets. If you had unlimited money, what 3 sets would you purchase right now, today, if it was offered to you or if it was sitting on a shelf? All right? Not because you want to flip a buck, but because you want to collect it and you love what the set offers. What are those 3 sets? Drop them down below and tell me what y'all would like to see for a video in the near future. Till next time, take care.